where you will land, okay? The dashboard. The dashboard is actually where you're going to spend the least amount of your time. What this page is basically doing is it's showing you what is coming onto the market and what is being taken off of the market. Now, obviously, we are not the only company in Chicago using it, and also a lot of management companies do use the platform as well. So they have data entry teams. So what they'll do is they'll send up an updated hot sheet over to the data entry team for You Got Listings or to us, and then we will send it off to data entry, and then they will go ahead and put in the listings for us. So you can see like 500 Lakeshore took, put 2 on the market, took 1 off, circa 992 or 922 took 1 off. So you're not going to spend a lot of time on this page, but it's just always kind of keeping you up to date on what's being taken on or what's being taken off the market and what's being put on the market. This is where you're going to spend the majority of your time, okay? So first, if you have already done a search previously, it's always a good idea to clear it, okay? It will not clear your sources, okay? So let's first start off on sources and why that's important, okay? Internal is going to be any listings that have been added either through Kale or through brokers of ours, okay? So that is internal. YGL network is all of the other management companies, brokerages, any of the other companies that are using this, that is YGL network. So that is the entire network, okay? Data entry is third-party input. So if a company sends us a hot sheet, you know, their updated listing inventory, we will go ahead and send it off to a third party, and that data entry team will go ahead and input the listings for us. The only problem is they don't put any pictures in there for us. So that's really important for some of the brokers. If you're really looking to do this full time, is maybe going out to maybe some of these management companies, reaching out to them to see if they have any pictures, or going out and taking pictures once you do show an apartment. That way you will have them to add to your listings on Facebook, Craigslist, wherever you're posting. And then MRED, this also does syndicate to the MLS. I don't know why, but it does. So you can see anything that is also on the MLS rental-wise as well. So what I always keep 2 clicked on, internal and data entry, because those are the ones that we have the most control of, okay? And then obviously, I don't really care about what's pending. I don't know why they have pending or what's off the market. I'm going to know what's on the market, okay? And then the rest is pretty obvious: street numbers, street name, cities. Cities, this was invented or created, I think, in Boston. So they created for New York as well. So think of neighborhoods as, or excuse me, think of the cities as your neighborhood. So Albany Park, they actually just changed this. It used to say something different. So that's great. But they have kind of gone above and beyond some of these neighborhood names. Some of these I don't even know, never even heard of, don't even know if they exist. So keep it to the bigger ones, like Lakeview, just keep it to Lakeview. I think there's a Lakeview East, West. Try to keep it as vague as possible, okay? But they're all the different neighborhoods in here, okay? So there's that. Beds, obviously, minimum rent. If you have somebody that's looking for, like, you know, $1,000 to a $1,200 apartment, that's how you would do that. Fee, think of fee as commission, okay? No fee paid, quarter month's rent, half month's rent, 75. This is what you're really looking for. Not all of the companies that we do have agreements with do have them as 1 month in here. I don't know why. Some of them change different ownerships. That's why I always just make sure I just ask them, hey, what are you offering as a co-op, just to confirm, okay? But that's 1 month, 1.5, 2 months. I don't know what boat is. Co-broke, and then negotiable, okay? So unit numbers, zip code, pets, they have if pets are allowed, pets are not allowed, small dogs only, dogs negotiable, minimum baths, availability from to, advanced options. I really have never used this, but you can if you really want to get really detailed, like if the person, you know, has to have, you know, parking, but I don't think all of them are going to have all of this information in there. So I kind of try to keep it as vague as possible. And then ID, All of them do have their own unique ID numbers. So keep an idea if like you ever wanted to return back to a certain apartment and you didn't remember the address. If you had the ID number, it would pull it up for you. I skipped through all of these. Unit number, zip codes, all, advanced options, we went through that. Excuse me, I did go through them. Okay, and then landlord. If you want to just pull it up by landlord, so like J&J Equities, if I could spell. This pulls up all of theirs, okay? So, all right, so let's say I have somebody reaching out for, a studio. Great. Okay, anything that allows you to post an ad, you are allowed to post for, okay? So I can go ahead if I wanted to post this one. This is a lot of the, information in there. Rent includes gas, laundry and building, it's pet friendly, vacant, you don't have to call and give a notice to the tenant. Here's your landlord information. If you try not to reach out to the landlord repeatedly, just try to get it all done with one phone call. If you just are constantly aggravating them, then they're just going to get aggravated with you. So just go ahead and maybe write down all the questions that you have. Maybe shoot them an email. You can also have their phone number as well, and then their office address, and then their company website. So all that information is in there. So I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to post an ad. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about some things real quick. So Craigslist charges. Craigslist used to be the free one that all 120-day agency, a lot of leasing agencies, with 120-day agents, excuse me. We just have people just sitting all day long. I started off as one, watching Prices Right from 10 o'clock in the morning for about an hour and just hitting nonstop Craigslist ads and just posting them nonstop. Okay, Craigslist actually eventually caught up and was like, all right, well, we're going to start charging for it. So I believe they charge $7 for 30 days. Okay. Zillow, they are $10 for 7 days. Okay. Now, apartments.com, RentHop, and Facebook Marketplace are still free at this time. These two are going to want one of one. So, if Susie posts a whole bunch of, or has one ad up in Zillow, they're not going to let me go post another listing for that same apartment. Okay. Craigslist will, Facebook will, apartments.com will not. Okay. They want one of one. So just keep that in mind. So if you ever, run into an issue where it's not allowing you to post, most likely it is already on there already. So I'll go ahead and I'll just show you kind of how to post to Craigslist. Make sure you have two things, and let me back up a little bit, okay? So there's two important things that you want to know with You Got Listings. First off, make sure you're using Google Chrome. And then for the ability to post, you're going to need the penny posting extension for Google Chrome, okay? Oh, I need the posting title. So I'll go ahead and show you real quick. So if I just go type in penny posting, this is the extension that is allowing me to autofill a lot of that information for me. So I'll go ahead and go to penny posting. Even if you already have this in there, what I like to do is maybe I don't know, once a month, just go in there and delete it and then re-add it. That way I always make sure that I'm up to date. Sometimes I have issues where it doesn't update. So this way I always make sure that it is the most up to date. Okay. Okay, so it's back up. All righty. So 2-bedroom in, I don't even know where this is, Lakeview, with beautiful views of the lake. Who knows? Okay. So it's got neighborhood, postal code, all that information. It will autofill your contact name and whatever contact number. If you don't have the best contact number already in You Got Listings, we can show you how to do that. Continue. Not gonna go all the way through. Also, make sure you're logged in. I'm not logged in right now. Sure. Okay, so it's actually cheaper. It's actually $5.07. Okay, so that's how you can autofill and post to Craigslist. Going back, since so if you go to user profile, so if you go onto the little people or person icon up to the top right, you go to user profile, this is where you can enter in your new telephone number, whatever email you want to send to if you're not using your Care Realty. And then also you do now have a customized personal website through You Got Listings as well, which they just unleashed. Okay, and then here's also your email and ad signature. Make sure you do have your name, that you are a licensed real estate broker, the brokerage that you work with and work for, and then your office address as well. Okay. And then also, if you wanted to, this is how you can change your password for that. Okay. So if you ever needed to change your telephone number, that's how you would do that. Let's go on back to the rentals page. Okay. And then here's where you're going to be able to see the price, bedrooms, and then this will also show you if it has photos. Okay. If it's lit up green, it will have photos in there. Okay. So that's how you post an ad. That's how you search the inventory. Let's go ahead and go through a few more things. Once you do kind of start getting some ads up, you will be able to see the ads here. So if you go to, if you're on the dashboard page, which this will be the first page that you see, and when you log on, you'll click on the three bars, and then you're going to go click on ads. And this is where all of your ads will populate. Okay, so you'll be able to see all of your inventory of ads. Rental groups, I don't spend much time in here. If you did have a group, you can enter it in here. I'm not really sure why you would do that, but it's just there for you. Any leads that you do receive through any of your listings, like if you do input a listing through here, they will show up here. It will have their name. So I'll go ahead and click on Timothy McNamara, and then it will have their phone number and their email address. So you can go ahead and reach out to them. So once you have, and then it will show you what property they were interested in. Okay. So let's go back. Landlords. Okay. If you ever wanted to see landlords, their contact information, that would be on this page. Here's their office address, management companies, telephone numbers, email address. What is this? I think this is when they were last updated. Okay. So if you're ever searching for a different management company, JJ Equities. Maybe. Okay. You'll have all of that information in there for you. Okay. If you ever, had an agreement with a new landlord or new management company, you can add them into here. Okay. So you can go to new landlord, enter all their information, and then you can also put yourself as the listing agent. Now, please don't change any listings that we already have and make yourself as a listing agent, because you are not the designated agent. But if you do bring a landlord or a management company on, we can put you as the listing agent if you do not want to have, the rest of the company showing apartments. Okay. Let's go back. Documents, I've never really used this. This is where you can actually put upload any photos, any I guess you could put lease, but we're not going to be really fooling around with this a lot because we use .loop. I think this is for a lot of leasing companies that just use You Got Listings exclusively. But this is where if you did have any documents, you can upload them, or if you did have any pictures as well. Okay. And then brokers, it's kind of the same thing as this is actually just the different, companies that are using this, some management groups. So you have a combination of some landlords, and then also, like, this is actually a company I used to work for. I was a 120 agent. They used to be Homestead Group. So if you ever wanted to reach out to them, I'm not sure why you would, but like ICM. So you do have some landlords in here as well. So all of their information is available to you. Okay. And then last, let's see what else we got. Oh, tutorials. If you ever wanted to look at, some, training videos, You Got Listings does have them available for you. They're very, very basic, kind of the stuff that we're going over today, maybe a little bit more in detail. We'll go back. The last place, whatever they want to share new news with the different brokerages, or they're ever changing something to their site, they go ahead and put it in this what's new on You Got Listings page. This is how I found out about their new user-friendly personal sites that they have URLs for. And then posting to Craigslist, you can actually now put by broker. So if you ever want to see what's going on, what's changing with You Got Listings, here is where you would find all of that. Does anybody have any questions about You Got Listings? Does anybody need access that doesn't have any access? If you don't, just go ahead and you can either shoot me an email. I'm tim@kalerealty.com, or you can just leave your contact information in the chat here. And as soon as we get off of this training, I will go ahead and send you login credentials, as well as what I do is I send everybody login credentials for You Got Listings, a trading video for that, then also like a leasing A to Z video. And then last but not least, all of the documents and disclosures that are needed in order to get you paid out at the end of the deal, because there is nothing worse than needing to track down a tenant that's already moved in for disclosures. What I always do is, this is my recommendation. I had somebody call me yesterday. Well, how do I make sure that I'm going to get all the paperwork back from the tenant at the end of this deal? What I always do is, like, really early on, like usually when we're about to go see the apartment, I tell them, hey, look, at the end of this, we like this apartment, we go through, all I'm going to need is two things from you. I'm going to need a fully executed copy of your lease, and I'm also going to need just some disclosure signed by you. If you tell them up front, they have no problem. If you call them or try to bug them or email them, 3 weeks after they have already moved in, they have no need for you anymore. They're going to tell you to go jump in the lake. So it's always better to do it early on. So I'll also be sending you that. But yeah, I have the easiest email ever, tim@kalerealty.com. If anybody does want to give me a call, set up a one-on-one leasing training, or has any, just general leasing questions, I can always be reached at the office, 312-939-5253. And I am at extension 105. But if anybody has any questions, just go ahead and raise your hand, or just go ahead and unmute yourself. But if not, I will let everybody go enjoy the rest of your day. Everybody have a great holiday. I know this is very much needed. Hopefully things start getting better in 2021.
There is a question in the chat.
Okay, let me see. Hold on one sec. This chat is 2 questions. If a landlord is processing the application, do we still have to process disclosures? I don't worry about the disclosures until after they've already been approved. There's no sense in sending a whole bunch of disclosures if they're not approved through the application. Does that answer your question, Lauren?
Yes and no. So if the landlord is processing, what do we have to provide to Kale Realty to make sure we receive our commission?
Nothing at the time of processing.
Okay. Once they're approved.
This is really like when the disclosures are needed is once the lease is signed.
Okay.
Because it's also it's in the lease, but we just need those disclosures on their own just to make sure that we're compliant, because that's what the
So
idea is for that.
outside of whatever the landlord is processing, Kell Realty
Yeah.
needs disclosures for, okay, on our end. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Cool beans.
And
Thank you.
I would, yeah, and like I was just mentioning before, maybe that was confusing, but I just tell people up front, just because like I hear too many, bad stories about tenants not returning anybody's phone calls, and it's just because they think they have no use for you anymore, so they're already moved in.